Thanks for coming today. I'm going to be introducing Persis in my lightning talk. My name is Jenny Zhu, and I know some familiar faces here, but if you don't already know me, I'm a software engineer at Red Hat. I work in the OpenShift platform, specifically in observability for user interface. So our team works on building the user interface for observability. We've been working towards integrating Persis dashboards to visualize telemetry data. And so this includes like logs, metrics, and traces. I've outlined a quick agenda for today. So 3 main points. What is Persis, first of all, and then what is observability? And also, what are Persis's focus? So its focuses are extensibility, being easily embeddable, and also being GitOps friendly. Oh, and I forgot to click the rest of the slides here. I'm just like reading off of. So this is me. This is my introduction again. Sorry about that. I just noticed these are 2 separate screens and they don't follow each other, so I'll have to like separately manage them. So yeah, quickly again, software engineer at Red Hat. I'm a front-end engineer and we work in the observability space, and we're trying to integrate Persis into the OpenShift platform. And this is the agenda. So what is Persis? What is observability? And then Persis's focus. So I picked out 3 of its main focuses for extensibility, it being easily embeddable and being GitOps friendly. So what is Persis? Flip back to my notes again. So Persis is an open source project for creating dashboards and visualizing telemetry data. It was created by a maintainer from the Prometheus project to address some of the challenges of managing dashboards at scale with de facto tools like Grafana. So they wanted to improve upon the pain points in their observability experience by developing a tool that was more extensible, easily embeddable, and GitOps friendly. It was accepted into the CNCF, which is the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, in August of last year, 2024, at the Sandbox maturity level. Sandbox is defined as entry-level, new, early-stage projects, which means Persis is still working on community building and also stabilizing the application. Some of you might already know that the CNCF is a nonprofit organization that is part of the Linux Foundation. Its primary mission is to foster the growth and adoption of cloud-native technologies by championing an ecosystem of open source, vendor-neutral projects like Persis. And for our second agenda item, what is observability? So we're kind of walking it back and defining what observability is. And you can think of observability like being a detective for your software. It's the ability to figure out what's going on inside a complex system just by looking at the clues it leaves behind. These clues come in the form of telemetry, which is the raw data collected by an application or a system. The 3 main types or the 3 main pillars of telemetry data include logs, which are timestamped text-based records of events. These are great for detailed historical accounts of what happened. Then we have metrics, which are numerical measurements collected over time. These are aggregate values. So these are CPU usage, memory consumption, or request rates. And then lastly, we have the newest type, which is traces that track the events of requests as it moves through a distributed system, which is critical for debugging microservices. After this collection of telemetry, this raw data, we want to interpret what this data means. That's where observability comes in. Observability is visualization of dashboards and charts that present the telemetry data in a more digestible way. For engineers to understand the internal state of a system, these tools are essential for monitoring, troubleshooting, and diagnosing issues. So I wanted to present what these charts actually look like. So for metrics, we have time series charts and gauges. Logs, we have log panels and histograms. For traces, we have Gantt charts and bubble charts. all of which are supported in Persis. The Persis ecosystem um, supports supports a small sect of telemetry tools because the community is still growing. So the current telemetry tools that are supported is Prometheus for metrics, Loki for logs, Tempo for tracing, and Pyroscope for profiling. And now we'll move into the last section, which is Persis's focus. And the first focus that we'll look at is extensibility. So Persis's flexible plugin architecture allows the community to easily add functionalities without altering the core Persis application. The benefit of this architecture is that the core application remains stable while new features are developed and maintained separately as plugins. This reduces the complexity of the main code base and makes it easier to update, debug, and manage. And this allows developers to more easily extend the capabilities of Persis. This architecture makes Persis highly adaptable and future-proof. It allows it to grow and easily integrate new technologies as they emerge. So for example, adding charts that don't already exist in the Persis ecosystem, and also add new telemetry sources beyond what's currently supported. The next focus we want to talk about is being easily embeddable. So Persis is built with modularity in mind, allowing individual panels or entire dashboards to be embedded directly into other applications, like what we're doing in OpenShift. Persis provides a set of NPM packages that gives developers a framework to compose dashboards and charts. Additionally, it also exposes ways for developers to pass UI themes and customizations to make Persis components consistent with the look and feel of the rest of the application. An example of this is what my team is working on now. We're embedding Persis and skinning it with Patternfly, our in-house design system, to make Persis components look seamless with the rest of the Red Hat OpenShift platform. I forgot to change the slide again. This is the slide for being embeddable. So these are all Persis components, and this is skin to look Patternfly E. So Persis components are based in Material UI, and we kind of have to override the default Material UI look and feel with with Patternfly UI customizations. And then I'll change the slide again. And the last focus of Persis is being GitOps friendly, which is the core differentiator of it and Grafana. And this was one of the biggest pain points that the original founder wanted to address. So being GitOps friendly means a system or tool can be easily integrated into a GitOps workflow, which is an operational framework that uses Git as a single source of truth or declarative infrastructure or application. So what does that mean? In a GitOps workflow, all the changes to a system are made by committing to a Git repository. And an automated process then synchronizes the live state of the system with the desired state defined in the repository. Persis does this by implementing dashboard as code, which is the practice of storing your dashboard definitions, so the layout, the panels, the data sources, and the queries as text-based files in a human-readable format like YAML and JSON. This allows the dashboard configuration to achieve GitOps principles by being declarative, version-controlled, and facilitates automation. And we'll go a little bit into each of these principles to highlight what Persis is doing to make managing and deploying dashboards easier. So declarative, what does declarative mean? A GitHub repository represents the desired state of your dashboards. An automated process, often a Kubernetes operator or a simple script, can continuously monitor the repository and ensure that the dashboards in the live running system match the ones defined in Git. This helps prevent configuration drift and also ensures consistency. Persis implements this principle by using CRDs, custom resource definitions, to represent dashboards within the cluster. This means that you can manage and deploy dashboards using the same declarative principles as your other Kubernetes resources. Then the Perses operator can monitor, manage, and reconcile these dashboards for you. So an example of the Perses dashboard CR is pictured here. Perses, in this mission, Perses also provides an SDK, so a software development kit in 2 languages, Golang and Qlang. These SDKs offer programmatic interfaces that allow developers to define and generate dashboard configurations using code, which is much easier to the alternative of manually writing YAML and JSON, which is terrible, or manually clicking through the UI to generate a dashboard configuration. The next principle in being GitOps friendly is being version controlled. Because the dashboard configurations are saved as custom resource files, they can be stored in Git and version controlled and open for collaboration through PRs. And then the last principle is automation and CI/CD. The command line interface for Persis, which is called PRCLI, PRCLI, is a critical component. It enables automation and validation of dashboards within CI/CD pipelines, making it easy to manage dashboards at scale. And this is just a quick snapshot of how you would use Persis CLI in the development lifecycle. So first, you would craft your dashboard by writing a dashboard definition using the SDKs that we talked about. So you can either use Golang or Qlang instead of manually crafting them yourself in YAML or JSON. And then you can build with the Persis CLI. So the Persis CLI will take the SDK code that you wrote and transform it into the CR in YAML or JSON, whatever format you want to prefer. Persis CLI also offers linting and validation, and also allows for previewing of the dashboard that you created with ephemeral dashboards that are deleted later because it has a time to live. And then finally, you can apply the dashboard once you're satisfied. It looks okay, you got feedback that your dashboard is everything that it needs to be. And then you can do Persis CLI DAC apply to deploy your dashboard manifest to a Persis server. This entire cycle is designed to be integrated into a CI/CD pipeline with GitHub Actions as a supported example. I have 2 minutes left. So I'm going to wrap up quickly and just summarize the pros and cons of using Persis versus the de facto observability visualization Grafana. So Grafana, as you know, is kind of the big player. It's more mature. It has a huge, diverse ecosystem. So that's Persis's cons, is that it's not mature. It's still growing. It has a small community, and it has a small ecosystem. But where Persis shines is that it tries to improve upon the pain points of Grafana. So such as being GitOps friendly, having static validation with the Persis CLI that we saw, being Kubernetes native with CRDs, so we can version control, it being open and vendor neutral, particularly because it's under CNCF, and then it being embeddable, exactly what my team is doing, trying to embed it into the OpenShift platform and skinning it to look like our in-house design system, Patternfly. And then lastly, being flexible and having a plugin architecture, which makes it easier for the community to contribute to the ecosystem and build their own plugins. So thank you for your attention. This has been Introduction to Persis, an open source observability dashboard. I have a QR code here that you can look at for more information about Persis. It will take you to the docs as well as a demo website where you can actually play with Persis itself. You don't have to build it from source, which is a lot easier. And then there's my LinkedIn on the other side of it. I appreciate your time and attention. Thank you.